My follow-up is why didn't you find fingers in the butthole to be pleasurable?
Maybe it was because my prostate was inflamed.
Awkward.
Pain down there, your balls swell up, so they hurt. It hurts your prostate's in the back door, so your anus swells up.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
Feel like you have hemorrhoids. It burns.
I just want to remind our listeners that this is how he got into comedy.
Yeah.
Continue.
I'm a native. Yeah. I got my comedy started down there at the Tampa Improv back in the day, and it was around 2014 when Tony Gaud was still hosting it. We've talked about it before. Yeah. It was the late night mic.
Yeah. The late night.
Yeah.
That was rare back then.
It was also a good time. You had a good blend of freaky and like late night, like after work, normal people, like blended in the same place at the Improv. Those late nights.
Yeah, and that it took a while. Now now they've changed the time. They just restarted it, so now the open mic is earlier. But man, if you started out back in the day, it was late night. You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know who was coming in. So yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Those are lots of good memories. Well, starting down there.
Now, is that where you started at the Improv? I mean, and what got you into it? What got you going into comedy?
So, yeah, that's the first place I ever stepped foot on a comedy stage. That is the first place where I started to think that I was funny. I had done like plays as a kid. I was put in like an elf play when I was a kid, and so this was like the real stage that I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and do things on my own as my own artist. So I started going because a friend of mine started trying out comedy. He currently is now the kitchen manager for the Improv, so he was going down there and doing the open mics, and what was that?
Connections, man.
Yeah, you make them. You have to in this industry. But this was my longtime childhood friend. We were best friends, grew up together. He had started doing stand-up comedy, and I was currently dealing with a medical illness called prostatitis. Not fun.
What is that? What is that?
So that's actually where the prostate is inflamed, and they don't really know what causes it. They don't know if it's a bacteria, viral. My likeliness of how I got it was the one and only time that I chose to have a one-night stand. I did not wear protection, and after having sex, you actually, I don't know if you know this, you're supposed to pee because that releases bacteria that might have gone up your urethra.
Yeah, clean out your system, man.
Yeah.
Was it gay or straight sex?
Very straight. It was with a woman.
Non-binary.
Non-binary.
She
was a woman at that point. She could be off in another.
Yeah, not anymore. Now, was this dude? Did you go back door? Is that what it was?
No, it was just regular vaginal sex. I just had no protection on. Didn't pee afterwards. We just went straight to sleep, and then within days later, I started to feel pain down there. Your balls swell up, so they hurt. It hurts. Your prostate's in the back door, so your anus swells up, so you feel like you have hemorrhoids. It burns.
I just want to remind our listeners that this is how he got into comedy.
Yeah.
Continue.
Banging some.
So everything.
Tell us
hurts,
about your prostate.
Yes. So at this point, I'm only like 20 years old, right? You guys were probably 20 years older than me right now. So I was very young. When I started going to see doctors, they were like, "You're the youngest person. Why are you at the urologist? Why are you at the proctologist?" So I got to experience fingers in my butthole very young and not pleasurable. It was not asked for.
Now you're non-binary.
Yeah.
No, I claim to be a man. I hope the mustache.
I have a follow-up.
Enough.
You claim.
My follow-up is why didn't you find fingers in the butthole to be pleasurable?
Maybe it was because my prostate was inflamed and it hurt. It just didn't feel good.
Sounds hot to me.
So once the inflammation goes down, are you going to try that again? Are you going to put fingers in your butthole just to see?
They say that that's the male G spot. I have yet to try it, but never say never, right? As long as it's my fiance doing it, that's okay.
There you go.
if you want to keep it boring, but that's fine.
So you've been doing. So you started out. You went over there with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah.
So you didn't decide to go up until that night, or did you kind of think about going up before?
So this is what happened. So having that prostatitis, I had to stop working and I wasn't going out because everything just hurt. It was really uncomfortable. So I wasn't doing much. And my buddy started doing these open mics. And one day he came over, we smoked some pot and he was like, "Dude, I'm going to do this open mic. You don't really get out much anymore. Why don't you come down, check it out? You don't have to do anything. Just watch me bomb. And maybe you'll laugh. Maybe you'll think it's a good time." So I said, "All right, why not?" And I went down there and never stopped going back. So it was probably within about a month or two that I was just going to those. I don't remember if they were weekly or if they were like bi-weekly. I don't remember.
The improv was a weekly one, but
yeah. So
I think there were a couple more. There were a few around already, but that one was weekly. So you were there. I remember you were there pretty much every week.
Yeah. So then I was going every week, and then just decided, by like the second month or so that I could do it.
You can do it.
One of the first comics I ever spoke to outside of my buddy was Jared Waters, who's now headlining and doing stuff out in New York City. And he was like, he pretty much mentored me to get me up there my first night.
Now, what about the acting? It's like I don't know if you stumbled into things or you're kind of targeting this, because I had you were in my little low budget comedy horror thing that we did, which is really
fun. I remember.
It was very cool. It was a cool little part, and you did your thing. Very creepy.
I heard the cheerleading squad needs a towel boy.
No, I don't think so.
Semen donated?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I got to be a little weirdo to the ladies.
Yeah, but now, what is this other project you're on now?
Now I haven't gotten any updates, but I just submitted the audition last night for a film called Beaver Shark. Saw it circulating in the actors group on Facebook and thought, hell, why not try it? But stumbled into acting, because comedy and acting kind of go hand in hand, but the difference is obviously stand-up comedy, you're writing your own material, hopefully, and you're performing, you're being yourself. So acting is becoming a character, and it's not coming natural to me to be an actor. I'm very good at being myself.
Well, that's a good start right there. I mean, if that's the only thing you went in with, just being yourself, you've made a choice, so the casting director doesn't know that. They just know you made a choice.
Right.
So if being yourself is the right part, is right for the part, hey, there you go, man.
I know that'll work out perfectly. But my fiance is actually a trained actor, and she went to school in New York City at the National Film Academy. Awesome. So I kind of have help there with direction on how I should approach things, or
she's kind of coaching you.
Yeah. She's very good at telling me when I'm not doing good.
Perfect.
Good for her.
Yeah. So she's doing a good job. She's putting her degree to good work.
Oh,
Well, what about now the mustache, that look there? Like, you didn't start off with that look. Now, is this, you're kind of settling in to a particular look, like a persona, or is this, I mean, it looks good on you.
Thank you. I like it here and there. There are days where I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do with it. It gives a false sense that I look like I'm a lot more manly than I am. Some folks have even asked me, I wear the Bass Pro Shop. I got the mustache now. People ask me, are you an outdoorsman? I'm like, not at all. I was in Boy Scouts for a long time before I even got the first badge, like years.
Well, the thing is, right there, that look alone, that's part of acting. Like you've created this character. People don't know what to think until you tell them. So, I mean, dude, you're doing it.
Yeah,
is this something you're going to pursue more, though? Are you looking at more to audition more and get, are you with an agent, that kind of thing?
I've hoped for an agent for a long time, but right now I'm currently independent, doing everything on my own. Actors Access is like one of the best things to use. And I got a buddy of mine who does have an agent. So whenever he gets stuff submitted that he doesn't think he's good for, he'll send it to me and I'll take a look at it and see if I'm good for it. So a lot of it, I mean, it's connection, knowing the right people that want to put you up. And hopefully I'll get that commercial that's like $20,000 one day.
It's not that far away, man. Believe me.
And the beauty of being able to do this stuff from the comfort of your own home, like Tony and me come from the school of back in the day, like I know you're pretty young. How old are you, Devin?
I'm 29. I'll be 30 in March.
Okay.
All right.
But like, years ago, and you probably weren't doing it then. Years ago, we have, to go drive to Orlando for auditions and Florida and Miami or Tampa. And then if you got a call back, you got to drive back again. And that's just for the callback.
Yeah, that's just for the audition.
And just for the audition.
Yeah.
And now, out of the comfort of your own home, you could do a couple of auditions in a day or so and just hit send, and you're good. Now, there's more responsibility, like we were talking about. Like, you have to do their own lighting and do all your shots and your files. You got to, and all that crap that they take care of. But there's something cool about knowing you can just get it in your email or on your phone and go, oh, yeah, let me try this right now. I could send this out in 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Well, that's got to be an advantage with your fiance. It's like she knows a lot of these things already. She can kind of guide you. Is that what's going on? Does she help you with the tapings and that kind of thing? Yeah.
She actually, with the audition last night, she was doing the cold read with me. So she was the other person in the dialogue. So she knows like everything, how to slate and how to present yourself. Helps with the not so sounding flat, because I have a natural monotone when I talk, so she kind of helps me with the inflection and helps me kind of understand what it is to find the character,
breaking down the scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, what's her first name?
Sure, her name's Caitlin.
Caitlin, all right. Shout out to Caitlin. That's cool.
Yeah, she's
Coach Caitlin.
She's sticking it out for some reason.
Nice.
She must like me.
Real quick, when's the magical day? You said you're engaged. So when are we looking at?
We're hoping this year, but but she's got a pretty big family, and with COVID either ramping up or ramping down, like we don't know if we should bring everybody together. I would feel horrible if we kill grandma on a lovely day.
Right.
Do you like grandma?
I like, she's,
all right then.
She's actually ordained. She keeps bothering me, and she's like, I'm ordained. I can do it for you. I'm like, all right, grandma.
Business.
That's nice. And not that it matters, but how big of the rock is on her finger we're looking?
Not big. She's not a flashy gal. I think I spent $500 or $600 on it. So it's not, obviously diamonds come from a place of controversy and not so good times. So she didn't want a real diamond, but I got her the white gold,
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
See that? Fake diamond, real man. That's what I say.
Oh man, that's a
Okay.
shirt. That's a T-shirt right
I
there.
like that right there, Devin Alexander.
Well, now does she work with you on the podcast as well, or how does that go? Is this a different project?
So we have two. So I have mine, the One Man You Can't Stand, which I started years ago. Just trying to figure out more of like my comedy. I started this probably within a year or two of starting stand-up, just because that's what all the big guys were doing at the time. So I just, trying to follow suit and help myself hear myself, maybe find bits or ideas. So I started that, and then we started one together called Whatever, where we just kind of ramble with each other, but we don't really take it so seriously. So like we'll do an episode every couple of months when we should probably do it more often, because
Maybe you should call it Whenever.
That's actually really good for how often we post on it, but we both have a lot of fun doing it.
Whenever. That's cool. Do you guys like talk about specific things, or just like general things, or just whatever's in the moment?
Yeah, general things. Usually we try to tell funny stories about each other. And like I think on one of the first episodes, we both talked about how we both sharted on our couch, not simultaneously, just at two different times. So like right the first time it was her, because she ate something that messed up her stomach, and or no, she just thought she had a fart and let it out, and it came out as a shart. I got food poisoning, and one day thought it was okay to let one go on the couch, same spot, and pinched it off, man.
That's the devil at work there.
It felt like the devil.
That's what that is. Does she now, with you doing comedy, you're both doing podcasts. She's obviously a great actress, and you're becoming a very good actor. Does she dabble in comedy at all? Does she hit the stage, or could you think she could? Because she's probably so talented, she could do whatever she wants.
She actually is a lot funnier than me, and we argue all the time about how the other is funnier than the other. She's gotten on stage to do stand-up once, and she's got great premises. I think if she does it more, she would be naturally really good at it, just because she has the training. So she could be comfortable on stage. And then she's got these great stories. Her family's so crazy, and she does a great impersonation of her dad, that I think she could like really mold that as a character. But I don't think she has any interest in it. Not like how I do.
Well, that's cool,
That'd
man.
be so cool.
Yeah,
though,
I've always said there's more funny people off stage than on.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because you're on stage doesn't make you funny. And just because you're off stage doesn't mean you're not. Some people just, it's just not their flavor,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to deal with when it comes to stand up. Like, right. You gotta, like, before you even are considered making it on showcases, you gotta drive sometimes an hour to an open mic where you might get 5 minutes. And that's if you get in the right spot on the list. Like, you could be last, and maybe they reach their time where you can't go up. I mean, that's happened plenty of times before.
Or you can come to the New World Laugh Lab and do your thing, right?
That's a great spot, man. I love that spot.
Right? So we had fun, yeah.
You see what I had to fly 4,500 miles to Anchorage, Alaska to get 5 minutes a few weeks ago.
Did you really? You did not
Coops.
go out there just for stand up. It was a leisure trip. Don't lie.
The girlfriend took me out there with her mother to see her sister and brother-in-law.
She's trying to get rid of them.
I saw Into the Wild. I saw how that movie ended. I said, that's not going to be me on a bus dying and crapping all over myself.
Did it resemble Fargo?
Oh, it was even worse. But no, it was a great scene out there. But but you're right though, man. No, you do that. You hour or two. Hell, I used to back in the day. You drive 3 hours to get $25 to do 30 minutes somewhere, and you think you're king of the world because I'm like, wow, I got paid to do this. Now I got to drive 3 hours back home again. But
man, there were plenty of times when I was living in New York where I paid to perform just to feel what that was like on stage in New York. So, I mean, you don't know when you're a young comic, like that's not a good thing. So like now at this point, I would never pay to be on stage, you know, but it's a great experience.
Yeah.
Got to pay your dues somehow, right?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize, you know, that they're so in tune with like, I don't want to get screwed. And they don't realize you're going to get screwed.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't know yet. And it's like those kind of things. You're like, well, maybe I shouldn't have did this, but I should have done this because otherwise I wouldn't have known. So, you know, if you start out doing that kind of thing, you know, no harm, no foul. It's going to happen. But like you said, you've got experience now, you know, and it's like you're doing shows. Matter of fact, we have a show coming up.
That's right. When is this going to get posted?
Yeah. Now, probably in a couple of weeks.
After the show. Well, you guys missed out on a great show.
You missed a great show, guys.
It was fantastic.
But yeah, I've had you on, you know, whenever I have shows, I try to reach out to you. And if, you know, if I can get you on there, because it's always good having you on stage. You know,
man, it's always love with you. I have to give you a shout out because you are one of the first like professional comics to actually pull me aside, tell me I have a good joke, keep working at it. You have something there. And that was huge to me. Like, you're not even a big TV star, but you were a paid comic. You work at the Improv. You actually get spots all over. You've worked with Jackie Mason and you've worked with Mitch Hedberg, who was one of my idols when I started. So like, you have this list of criteria that's so important to me. And when you pulled me aside as a young comic and told me I had something, I knew that I was like onto it. I knew I was onto something. I wasn't great. I wasn't probably even good, but I knew I was on the right track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah. That's, you know, anytime you see people like that, you know, it's like I've had the benefit of being able to watch a lot of people start out, and you can see, you know, people's like, you can see their potential, and you can see that they got something original and they're sincere. You want to encourage that, you know. It's like, okay, let me just, you know, he just needs a little nudging over here. Go this way, you know, and you're gonna kill. But yeah, I've gotten very lucky.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a treat, you know. It's cool, and then I get to watch you guys, and whenever I got shows, bring you back on.
You're the Godfather, man.
What do you got coming up? You know what? What do you got coming up, man? Besides the one thing we already, the show they're not going to hear about.
Right now, I got some stuff in the works. I can't really talk about it yet.
All right, cool. Well, you got to come talk to us and tell us.
Yeah, I definitely will. Hopefully big things with Snappers Comedy Club. There's some cahoots going on there. So we're figuring stuff out. It's all a process. I try to do my podcast weekly. It comes out weekly, sometimes bi-weekly.
Well, what's the name of the podcast again, so listeners can get onto that? That's on Spotify, I believe, right?
I got it on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast. I run it from Anchor.fm. They're through Spotify. So you can find it on anywhere. It's called The One Man You Can't Stand.
The One Man You Can't Stand.
Hey, podcast listeners.
So smash that subscribe button.